very real human story is always interesting. It's just like books.
Yeah, reading a good book.
Yes.
I was about to say that. Great minds think alike.
Looking to the future, but then how is it possible if we don't own our past? Professionally, that one of the reasons why we were saved, or what saved our soul and our helped us to live through that, is this collective, the sources of love. In Kazakhstan, everything is very
fast. If you're having issues, and a lot of them are stemming from yourself, like moving isn't gonna solve them. You're gonna still have, even if you move, you carry yourself with you.
I'm Miri.
I'm Özgecan.
And we are two Kazakhs living in Berlin.
And this is our nomadic lives. So here we are for the last episode of our first season. And we thought we would share some of the comments we received during the recording of this podcast for the first season, because we've always been asking for feedback and comments from people. And we have received some comments, and we thought we'd address them, maybe.
It's been a first-time experience for both of us. So we decided to take this hour to reflect on the journey and to just be us again, just like we did in our first episode when we didn't know where we're diving into.
Yes.
And how do you feel after this several months?
Several months. So we started recording in August, and we have been releasing since October. And I have to say, this journey has been super exciting. It's been super, super fun. Like, I've enjoyed so much talking to you, and just having this project, like it's a baby that we kind of raised together, right? And like you and I both, I think we've been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time. So it's something special to finally do something that you've been planning and dreaming of doing for years and years. For me, it's been like 10 years. I actually have a friend, and he's a professional in radio, and he was like, when you're ready, I will give you a quick rundown of how to do the podcast. And that was 10 years ago, But it hasn't been 11 years yet. By the end of this year, it's still 10 years, and I've done it. How was the journey for you?
I agree that it was a project just like a little baby of ours. It's a result of the partnership. And yes, it's an adorable baby project, I think. I was enjoying the process. Well, we didn't get that much feedback, but everyone that we got was so special. And I felt that I'm very sensitive about the topic. Like this project is taking me out of my comfort zone. And because it's the first time, I was not sure about where it's going to take us. And then I was sharing with you that I'm not sure if I'm ready for all the critiques that might come. But it's not that scary, apparently.
No.
And then to look at the project as our baby, and then two of us as parents, I was quite confident in your support, I guess. And I was like, okay, whatever, there's something happens and I don't know what that is, or I don't know how to reply, you are there. So I felt this partnership, and I think projects should happen this way. If
and
they happen.
Safety, because you're not standing there on your own. I agree that having each other to kind of be in this together, it's felt super safe. And I like the analogy you used. When did I see you? Just a few days ago, and you were like, we're kind of like a zipper, right? It just kind of fits in. And because we're both also parents of young children, I think sometimes spontaneously we have to change plans, and we have to be very flexible, but at the same time, very disciplined to get the episodes out on time.
When we have something scheduled, that means that is scheduled.
Yes,
and
it's
then,
happening.
It's happening. I think that's also a quality probably we've earned from parenting, and then from all these responsibilities we learn to carry in our adult realities.
For our final episode, we want to go through the feedback and the comments we got from our listeners, and also just to reflect on how this journey has been for us so far. Shall we start?
Yes. Let's dive into what we expected was the project to be like, and then how it turned out to be.
Oh, yes. I think that's a really good point because I think, so we also applied for funding to do this project. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. But when we were applying for the funding, we had to make a project description.
That helped, no?
It helped.
The funding, the requirements, all the deadlines.
Yes, because we also had a deadline to finish the project description. We needed to have a name for the podcast. Yes. We needed to kind of conceptualize the podcast. But I do think we changed, like the direction of the podcast changed a bit since that project description.
Yeah, it did. Definitely did.
And in what ways do you see that change?
Well, we were planning to dive more into academically described and supported the topics that we're going to be touching upon, the decolonization, the culture and everything. And we thought we're going to dive perspective of like us talking from Europe, but then being also representative of the diaspora communities, minorities. But then it turned out to be so, I think, very personal, very narrowly addressing the community and our culture.
Yes,
I think
our lived experience of the culture rather than sort of this academic or quote unquote objective view on the culture and the community issues. We did touch upon some academic aspects of it, but like you said, I think we were more inclined to talk about our personal experiences, and maybe going forward we would also love to interview and talk to people about their personal experiences for season 2.
And if you noticed, the feedbacks we got are from the very personal episodes and topics.
This is true. I didn't think about that. Yes.
So I think what really is interesting for people, for community listeners to hear is the personal touch. Like there's so much of the professional material out there, I think. But the very real human story is always interesting. It's just like like books.
Yeah, reading a good book. I was about to say that. Great minds think alike.
And also, I remember at the beginning, funding also helped us to decide on the language, if you remember.
Yes, because we weren't sure if we wanted to do it in Kazakh and English. And this actually touches upon one of the comments we did get. So first of all, we were like, because we felt more comfortable talking about deep topics in English, we were like, let's just do it in Kazakh. Although I think you're better at doing the deep topics in Kazakh anyway, better than me at least. So then we were like, for the funding, we would need to do it in English. And then, and since we didn't get the funding, that's okay. So we did get one comment for episode 5.
Did get the comment.
Yes.
And it says, "Қарындасым, осы шығарманы тезірек өз тіліңде түсінуге тілекшімін. Аман жүріңіз."
It's such a cute comment. So translation is like, my sister. My sister, I hope that this project also will be coming out in your own language, referring to Kazakh.
Yeah, and in that it was one of the first episodes, and I shared about Abay Jolu, that it was very difficult to really take it
to understand
it in Kazakh at first. So thank you for
thank you whoever wrote this comment for writing this comment. Бізді тілекшіміз. We have plans.
Бірақ менің қалауым әрине осындай жобалар қазақ тілінде көбірек болса деген маңызды деп санаймын.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, let's continue. So season 1 is in English and season 2 in Kazakh.
Yes.
We will try our best. Maybe we can do some trial recordings first and see how it goes. But thank you for this comment, whoever you were.
It was one, I think probably more people felt and did understand the questions that we're dealing with, like our personal journey. And it's so important and so motivating even when we read that you feel us, you understand, and then kind of as if those people are with us in this journey, right?
Yes.
And that was one of the questions of the podcast.
Shall we move on to the next comment? 2 first comments we got was actually on episode 1, and they were actually by people we know.
People we know.
Yes, the first one was the first ever comment. May we say his name?
Yes.
was his name
Arman.
Arman. Yeah. So our very first comment was from Arman, and he wrote, "Love it, Ülkin Rahmet."
Yeah.
Rahmet to you too, Arman, for listening to our first episode. And then
also Sabina.
And then Sabina, the second comment was, Özgecan and Mirey, thanks to this podcast for bringing up this topic of identity. Love it and many hugs. So this was our very first episode where we talked about our pasts, about belonging, how we felt, about my experience of also this multi-layered hybrid type of belonging. And apparently there's also an academic field called hybridity theory by Homi Baba. Actually, Arzu, one of our other listeners, she brought it up. She said her husband has studied a bit of this at university. So she really liked that aspect of the podcast too. She wrote to me. Yeah. The whole question of, having multiple layers of identity. So thank you, Arzu, also for that comment.
Yes, and then that first episode, I think many of our episodes are quite emotional because we talk about the parts that we miss, that we don't have, or we missed on the way of not probably us directly, but our ancestors. And then those are indeed very emotional topics.
Yeah.
And I also got some feedback, personal feedback, that a friend shared, that two actually friends, we did get emotional while listening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I think that we are breaking some, I think, walls of seriousness, of success, but then of this ideal Western image, living our life further as if looking to the future. But then how is it possible if we don't own our past? And in every episode, I think we bring some topic from somewhere in between, the threshold of us bringing that past, but then leaving some parts, that are behind, and then taking the best part we talk about.
Oh, yes. We talked about, the parts that are beautiful and kind of useful to you, that leave the parts behind that are no longer useful. Yeah. I remember that. And did that also resonate with the...
Yeah, friend shared the reel with me where Fariza Ongarsınova.
Oh, yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. And then the young woman talking and actually presenting and asking the question, why don't we just talk all of us like in Kazakh and in that beautiful way? And indeed, that's a question that lives in all of us.
She said that you are the only one, or like you are one of the few people who can write this beautifully in Kazakh. Why is it that?
Why is it? And then those are some unfortunate moments of the history, but then...
And this was in the, before the fall of this wall, wasn't it? It's an old video.
Yes, it's old video. It's during Soviet time. It's black and white video. So whenever you share your story and your feeling about whatever was provoked by the episode, it resonates back. Also, I think we can't really see all the scale that every person brings and opens up about their own stories. Yeah. So in that way, it was very beautiful experience and dialogue, communication.
Yeah.
Actually, that part I enjoyed the most when we read some comments and feedback, and I'm like, yay! As if in general, podcasting is such a field where it's two of us. I see you and I feel you. Yes, but then when episodes are out.
It's out. You don't.
It's out, and I don't know. And then, but I don't know
what people think about.
Yes, how is it going? Like, if you share that vision, or what's your opinion on that?
Yes, this is the thing. I'm also like, we always say that what we say isn't the law. Like we're very open to hearing other perspectives, and if you disagree with any of the things that we say. And also going back to building the bridge, right? Trying to understand like the diaspora, but also for the diaspora to understand, people in the homeland and why things are so different. How are we different and why are we different? This, like the episode where we talk about the 90s is, for me, this was all very, like I'd heard about it, but I didn't know the extent of what it meant to grow up in Kazakhstan in the 90s, or just to live through the 90s in Kazakhstan. It explains so much, and just to hopefully keep this dialogue going, keep building this bridge, and so that we don't just like seclude ourselves into our little communities. And talking about communities, like something, I don't know, the way like social media comes up with, the way your phone is listening to you and then like you get stuff in your feed and you're like, I was just thinking about this and somehow it's on my phone. But recently on social media, there's been this trend of talking about community. And I think I sent you one of the posts, which was about, we all kind of complain about the fact that we don't have the village here anymore, or that we're, parenting alone, that we're here alone. And so we kind of seek that sort of support. Yet at the same time, most people don't want to be a villager. And what does it mean to be a villager? It's to put your boundaries aside, to kind of sacrifice your own ego or your self-interests for the village, for the community. I kept coming across these posts and, there were a lot of episodes where we talked about, especially in the episode about the kilin, or the way that the role of the kilin needs to kind of change slowly in our communities as well. And by no means did I mean through that we all need to become selfish individualists, not at all. But like the self-sacrifice is such a huge, like it's at a scale of the kilin that I feel like there needs to be a mutual agreement to sort of, and I think we also mentioned that in one of the episodes where I was like the village we still need the village. I don't think this ultra-capitalist, individualistic Western way of living is good for anyone. I mean, there's a loneliness pandemic in the West, right? But I just mean we need to think of a different future where, where we can coexist in a way that the kiln is not completely self-sacrificing herself. And I think that way can only be done when we involve our young men more into the home, into the housework, into the childcare, and not see it as not masculine or whatever that means, right? That they become just as responsible for the household. Like nowadays, it's so hard to have also just one partner working at the economy.
It's definitely a huge topic, and what was very surprising to me, and I was also pleased that exactly at this episode we got the feedback, the comment from the woman who's, I think, representative of South Asian community.
Yes.
Yeah. And
no, she from Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay. And it's the shared question of many collective communities, traditional, and then now it's our common journey of actually finding out the new forms of being, but saving those values of collective, because they really make us who we are. Because even from the perspective of traumatic childhoods that we did have, or all the experiences of deprivation, I feel also professionally that one of the reasons why we were saved, or what saved our soul and our helped us to live through that, is this collective, the sources of love, different sources of care and love that we did have, even though some people were missing or some attitudes were not the softest, or I don't know.
Yes.
There's a huge value in that. But then absolutely the economical reality of the modern life where we are.
But talking about that comment also from a member of the wider Asian community, I really loved the idea she presented, which was, when you look at pop culture, the role of the kiln has always been a sad one, kind of. And her suggestion was, and she's also a filmmaker, her suggestion was sometimes maybe we need positive examples of, for instance, a mother-in-law who is so cool. Like everyone wants her to be her mother-in-law and understanding. And maybe this is more of what we need, but maybe we have a husband in a movie who's like the best husband in the world. Maybe we need good role models, right? And I really love that idea. Like, I think, examples of non-toxic masculinities.
Yes. Right. We've attended the film festival, or the curation that happened in Berlin in Cinema Transtopia, and
it was the Central Asian Film Festival of movies made by women.
Yes, and by women, and also the female portrait in the Central Asian movies. And I think, reflecting on this point, in the lecture, Malika Mohamedjan, who was the curator of the festival, she shared that we have the image of a woman who sacrifice, or who are maybe a victim of either life circumstances or domestic
married.
abuse or like many different situations. But then, and that's the portrait that art builds and shows. But then I really liked her movie, Longer Than a Day, Lastichka, and she shows a different image of how a woman gets married, yes, into a family. There is no abuse. There is just no chemistry.
No affection.
No affection. And I think it's this, it's more of this existential question that most of people in modern world face when there is no obvious pain or problem or something that our elders would consider also a reason to be so happy or sad, and then you still can have this.
Of course. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's, you know, when the previous generations have gone through so much hardship, then to be in the generation now and to complain about like there's no affection in my marriage feels like you don't have a right to do that. But yes, you do. Like you have a right to kind of seek happiness or contentment. I don't think seeking happiness is good for you either, but just, you know, contentment in your day-to-day life. And it's interesting that now that, you know, we have come to a place of that where we can seek contentment and not just survival.
Something maybe we can understand that it's hard for elders to really embrace and be like, they can be judgy about it because they have everything, they think. You have full right to feel. It's, I think, our responsibility also, like maybe to normalize that inner waves that always are present. And I also feel that it's a beautiful place of crisis that we are in when during this autumn time I traveled back home to Kazakhstan, right? And then it was a good comparison because from the environment that we are here, I was brought to a different environment, and it's not summertime, not vacation. Everyone is in their working schedule, and it's so different.
Was it about the contentment question?
Yeah, you don't have, when there's so much external going on, there is no
time to reflect, you were saying.
Yeah. You don't question many things about yourselves. Have to catch on the pace of life that's out there. And I realized in general, I'm so grateful we are in this place and space and time that probably our reflective souls just needed to be this way. I don't know.
Yeah.
For now.
It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, life is so fast-paced there. I don't think you can, like you said, I don't think you have time to really question or criticize everything, because I feel like it moves like in a wave and you're kind of part of the wave and you just go along with the wave. Yeah.
One thing I remember from our feedbacks and the episodes, it's so nice when you support us. And then when we talked about the comedy, and then we mentioned comedians here in Berlin, Dinara Kirey, and then we talked about Jan Saya, and then Ruslan Tai, Telegen from Semey. And
he does have a last name, guys.
Yeah.
I still don't remember it.
It's just we have some ties to Semey.
But you were saying about Ruslan, like when we were talking about all the comedians.
It was so nice to feel the support that they are, like our reels, and then even if we're talking in English and doing it from here, from Berlin, but still it's just like, it's this, my feeling of pride when I see someone trying to do something. And we talked that in Kazakh culture, we do give, like, if a child performs or does something, then you have to encourage.
Yes.
And that's the encouragement I felt from the community, from each and every one who shared and supported us. Thank you so much. Little child in me was just like, yay!
And also talking about the comedians, coming back to the creativity episode, because we actually got another message, and this one was from Andra. Thank you, Andra, for sending us your message. And it said, Hi, I feel like there needs to be a creativity part 2 with more details and what you learn from experiences. So let's get to it. No time to lose time. And this was what we said in the episode as well. Yes. It was like, we have no time to lose time. And she said, keep up the good work.
Also, if one thing that you probably can learn or get infected from us, it's our flexibility. I don't know if it's only the motherhood or everything that we learn on the way.
I believe it's like from living in Kazakhstan. It's a whole societal thing. I think it's just, people will call you like 5 minutes before and they're like, let's do this. And you're like, but wait, this was not on the schedule. And they're like, what is wrong with you? Let's just go. I don't know if it made it into the episode when like my friends called me at 8 p.m. on a Sunday.
We talked about it, but
I don't know if it made it into one of the episodes. But
in Kazakhstan, everything is very
fast.
Things
are delayed until the last minute, and then you get a call, and it's like davai, and you're like, yeah.
When I was planning my trip there and I was texting my mom and saying that, okay, in 4 days on the weekday, I have these plans. And then on that day, can you babysit my daughter or should I arrange and ask somebody else? And then her response was like, please don't panic. Why are you panicking? I'm not panicking. I'm just planning. That's the attitude.
I love it. She's...
It's everything you need to know about. If it's not happening right now today, there is no reason to
panic.
Panic, yes.
No reason to panic.
So apparently, our way of living here in Germany, we are very panicky people.
But yeah, I get it. But then things happen in the last minute in Kazakhstan. It's like, and you're just like, wait, I just woke up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but let's get back to the question about the creativity. Yes. So what I learned from, okay, maybe I'll just recap quickly. So I was on my way towards an academic career, and then actually I never mentioned this. So I did a PhD in sociology, and I was like, I'm going to be a professor, whatever. And then I really wanted to write a book. Like I was writing poems at the time. I talked about this and I wanted, I had started writing this book, but it wasn't going anywhere. And the thing is, I always sought out other writers, especially women, who also had done academia. And number one of them was Elif Shafak. If you don't know, she has a PhD from Middle Eastern Technical University in Ankara. I think she also did something like political science, which was also my undergraduate. And then I went to sociology, but she did a PhD as well. And then I came across Camilla Gibb, who wrote a beautiful novel about life in Vietnam. I can't remember. But basically, she had also done a PhD and done a postdoc. And so I would look at these other authors who had published novels, the novels that I loved. And then I read somewhere in an interview that Camilla Gibb had taken 6 months after her PhD because someone had given her money and was like, go write your novel now. And I remember having this conversation with Ayat after my PhD. I was like, I just want to write this book. And he was like, okay, do it. And so he was kind of my benefactor at the time. And I remember getting so happy. He was kind of giving me this permission too. Mm-hmm. And so... But then still, I felt like, I don't know what to do. And then, that was a huge thing. But then I actually reached out to Camilla Gibb. Uh-huh. Yes, I reached out to Camilla Gibb on Facebook back then. And I sent her a message and I was like, hey, I know you also did a PhD and then you did a postdoc. And I really want to write this novel. But I don't know if I should do it now. Should I throw myself at academia or... and I shouldn't wait too long to continue with academia because basically if you're inactive for a while, you're out, in the West at least. And she wrote me this wonderful, wonderful message. And she was like, you know what, if you can do it now. She said, if you can write it now, if someone is giving you the space and the time to write it now. Otherwise, and I won't forget the wording, otherwise you will regret and pine. And I literally, that was sort of the starting point for me. And then I had the conversation with Ayat and then it was okay. And then I joined a writing workshop and whatnot. So that was the start of my creative career or my literary beginnings. And somehow I'm on this path now and I haven't looked back. And what have I learned from it? you don't need to suffer to have a fun-filled life. Or like, what did I learn from it? That there is work out there that will, you know, make you so happy, that you're going to do with so much love and care and fun. And up to that point, I always thought like struggling was kind of the norm, but it doesn't have to be that way if you're in your element. Yeah.
That's very beautifully put, and I can really relate to that.
Tell me.
I learned that human beings are so unique and different, and I don't know, multidimensional, if you can say.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put a person into a box or frame to understand, but that's the question. Mostly people want to understand you and to be like, okay, it works like that because of that, or it works, she likes that because of that in her story. And my personal journey to embrace parts of me, one that's artistic and likes to reflect on life through visual art, or sometimes it's hard to put into words, but just to have the objective vision of it. And then the other part that is non-judgy, very reflective, but like the professional psychological path. And this journey of living here and actually giving space for my artistic expression helped me really see me more, learn about me more.
And do you think that has to do with the fact that, you know, you mentioned that in Kazakhstan you felt like you didn't have the time or space to self-reflect?
Absolutely.
So it's almost like the isolation here kind of made you the artist that you are. Well, isn't that interesting?
And that's probably very cliche, but it's right that probably you need some crisis and some struggle to really to touch your own bottom, to be like, okay, when if not now? Let's just whatever.
But try not to get to that part, right? Like try not to get to what if not now. But usually when we're so caught up in sort of the cycle of expectations from society or families or communities or whatever, it's difficult to kind of break out of it without some sort of crisis happening.
And I guess humans just work like that. You don't it's really easy to be caught up in this comfy
status quo.
Everything is on the flow, kind of why to jiggle, I don't know. Қозғалып, get out of that. And then, there's so much to learn about ourselves through that, I think. And even to this day, I think every person is kind of metaphor of how not ordinary and not straight life path or life is, humans are. And both of us in this term. We are on a journey. We don't know where it's leading us.
No, but this is so interesting because like in my 20s, I thought I needed to have everything sorted out career-wise. And then I come into my 30s and I'm like having this crisis. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be. And now I'm coming towards my 40s and I'm just like, you know, why would I like decide to do only one thing and do that for like the next 50 years of my life? It's nice when people can do that, when they find the one thing that they want to do for the rest of their lives. But actually, it's so seldom that happens. The majority of people aren't like that, I don't think. I think the minority of people know what they're going to do and then do it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. And then again, here, I think it's the historical structure that was built already and people are used to. I'm thinking about people back in Kazakhstan after this Soviet time. Back then it used to be you graduate with one profession, one diploma, and you are the most successful if you proceed with that until you retire from that one company. And then but
I think that was also a global thing as well. I mean, it was very common also in the West too. But nowadays, like, I think millennials, we really...
breaking all the...
like we had to deal with so many like financial crises, a pandemic, and okay, like, you know, Gen Zs had to deal with like studying during the pandemic, but okay. The thing is, what was it? There was this like reel on Instagram. It was from Kazakhstan, and it showed kind of the three, and I think you liked it. I feel like I saw you like it, but it was like the way 3 generations come to work, and then one is like Gen Z, they're on their phone, they're like whatever, and then the millennial comes and she's like on the phone and she's like yeah no, and like she's like I'm so sorry and then she, and she's like yeah mom no, like I had to bring my mom to the hospital and I had to go there and I had to go there, I'm here now, and then like she gets back to work, and then like the boomer generations like has been sleeping at the shop. And I remember the comments from the millennials. They're like, "Why are we like this? Like, poor us." Like no one feels sorry for us.
But we all are like that.
You're trying to be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah. But then again, coming back to our podcast, and isn't it us then also to be like doing this because our desire and our connection to the importance, the value of the bridge that we are sharing and building. And I'm still fascinated with at the very beginning, when the idea of the podcast was just born in the chemistry in between us. Yeah, I'm still fascinated with the wisdom and heritage that we do carry and have, like from our culture, that should be outspoken and then decolonized. I don't know all these overly used words, but
yeah.
And it's beautiful and important journey. Probably a good thing is that podcasts are really timeless. Some people come to be interested in the topic later, probably, and then they always can share a conversation with us.
Yeah.
I'm still deeply rooted in the idea of this bridge, the importance of it. And then we did share personal stories that actually the idea of living in the West or in the East, and this question that many people back in Kazakhstan see the West as the solution of many problems. But then we shared that the life in the West is just life just like life everywhere, probably with some.
I mean, this is also something psychological as well, in terms of if you're having issues and a lot of them are stemming from yourself, like moving isn't going to solve them. You're going to still have, like, even if you move, you carry yourself with you, right? I mean, I've experienced this myself multiple times where I thought moving to a certain place was going to change something drastically about something within me, which actually needed nurturing and healing that I could do from anywhere, but the move wasn't going to solve it. And then that being said, it's depending on where you are in your life as well. It's either going to be that you come here and maybe there are other reasons why you needed to leave, Kazakhstan. Maybe there are political reasons, maybe there are social reasons. And then you come here and you thrive because you have a whole different family who accepts you just the way you are. And then, I do feel kind of, it's unfortunate that you feel like your own communities or society can't accept you as you are in that regard. But if it's just a matter of, life is just going to be, like, apart from those sort of, I think, exceptions, like if it's just a matter of, all my problems are going to go away once I move away, it's probably like, it might be an inner thing then, maybe.
Yeah. No, you're right about there are certain, community questions, but then still, when we move out of the village, we carry the village within us.
This is true.
And unfortunately, it is the way of escaping as a coping mechanism. But then I feel that for your inner wholeness, for just the community that created us, the people that created us are part of us, like, forever, right? And their voices are going to sound in us again and again.
Yeah.
And it's our journey to differentiate and to actually going through, there are many ways of therapy. It's not only about the classical therapy way, but then, finding your journey to understand that, this comes from there. That question stems from there. But then my position here is that. And then again, sharing my personal journey, however intimidating the boiling Kazakh life would feel back in Kazakhstan, and everyone wants something from you. As Kelin, you always are needed, and there's something for you to do, or people to serve, or whatever. And then it's easy to think that it's them who are not letting me be me, or whatever. But then that's exactly the part that actually gives, charges your battery, the feeling of like connection, and then the need that they create, the people, the community, is apparently so important to me. And I grew up to be able to really have all of that, and then within that be you. And now I feel that it's good for me to be me, but also the community is also proud of me when I'm being me, kind of. It's not the other way, opposite that I felt 10 years ago, for instance.
Yeah. You can still be a cycle breaker.
Yeah.
Be a cycle breaker, remember?
Yay. One comment that I remember and want to share is that Asiema wrote to us that our podcast is
I love this.
Even better than some BBC English language, English learning help podcasts, I think. So it's just like all those startups that started in the garage space. Yes. Our podcast started with you in
our living room
space with a MacBook and like the chair and mic that we invested
and the
in.
Photo booth. Like literally, it was filmed with photo booth on my iMac, right?
Yes, thank you for the comments that it looks very professional. But for all of you who are thinking about making a podcast, it doesn't need to be this beautiful and perfect from the beginning.
But it's really nice to have it this beautiful and perfect. But you can do it with very little equipment. If you guys need any suggestions, we're happy to send you the stuff that we used and that really worked for us.
Thank you for listening, for being with us this whole season. It's been a season of the podcast, but also 2 and now 3rd season of the year. Like we are capturing. We enjoy it. I enjoy it. Do you enjoy it?
Yes,
do you like
I
it?
did. Thank you so much.
We also did get some feedback that, you sound like professional podcasters. I guess now we can claim that. Thank you so much.
We are professional podcasters.
We are doing it, and Саған рахмет өзге.
Саған да рахмет, Mirey. Post-production by me, Özgecan.
All the visuals prepared by me, Mirey.
Theme music by Dash.
And today's episode was recorded in a beautiful studio in Berlin.
Wait, let's give it another go. Will we manage?
Bye. Oh, yeah.